You can go back to the draft when he was the #1 overall pick. You could have went with the college guarantee catcher in Adley Rutschman. Number 2 was Bobby Witt Jr., kind of that franchise-type player. Mike Elias ends up taking Adley Rutschman. What'd you say before we came out here?
Yeah, he's got the it factor.
He's got the it factor.
Yep.
He really does. And there is a big comparison I could make with the 2010 Giants with Buster Posey after I saw him in spring training, and he went down to the minor leagues, and we all knew
he was one of the 25 best guys.
He was one of the 25. He was one. And when he showed up and we put him in the lineup and Bruce Bochy to watch our team kind of flourish, that's what Baltimore. They were 16-24. Bring that board up real quick. Take a look at this. Best records in baseball since the start of May 21st.
And to your point,
I mean, that's not coincidence.
And to that point, D-Ro, I think a young guy, can he command respect early? The answer is A, yes, but B, when you're a catcher, I think if you kind of take over and you get a comfort level with your whole staff, now you got 12 guys that bought in that usually, I was a third baseman. I didn't hang out with the pitchers in their preparation because it was totally different. So I think he kind of is that bridge between the position players and the pitchers, and he does everything well.
He really does. And the thing that blows me away watching some of these young players, I didn't feel completely mature in my game until I was in my 30s. I felt like every year I tried to get a little bit better. I'm sure every guy does a little bit better at something. He's come up, he controls it. Listen, bring up the next board, bring up the season splits. He had 20 games where he scuffled and had to cut his teeth a little bit and get beat up. Here we go. Okay, first 20 games, he was hitting $1.76. And then all of a sudden, it's been this steady progression of him starting to dominate and control the strike zone. He does not swing at balls.
No, and the other thing is, I don't think he allowed, because this doesn't wow me from what the expectations were. So you're going 44 games if you put it together, but the defense didn't suffer.
Yeah.
And I think when you get one of these young guys come in and you hit 4 home runs in your first 7 games, it's easy to be the cool guy and the game comes easy. When you scuffle in your first 20, now you're showing me what's inside here. So I think to a certain degree, him struggling might have given him a little bit more street cred in that locker room because he's like, hey, I'm still grinding every day. It's that, we're going to look at the defensive numbers, what he does behind the plate. Yep. He runs well. He doesn't run well for a catcher. He runs well. The sky's the limit for this guy.
Get back into the B-roll here. Bring me up to Kikuchi at bat. I'm sitting there the other night. Adley Rutschman comes up to hit in a big spot. First AB. Get the boys going against the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to hit you with some B-roll real quick here before we dive into the real good stuff for me. And I'm saying to myself, it's all about getting to count leverage, okay? Against Kikuchi. He's got that hot heater and the slider down and in. First off, I'm swinging at that 1-0, 100%. He takes that pitch. That's a ball, right? He turns around, asks the umpire. So now, 3-1, pause this. 3-1. You can get me. I'm going.
Well, I'm in ultra swing mode, 3-1. You know why? Because I earned my opportunity to be in that. He laid off pitches to put himself in that situation. What's he throwing here?
He throws him
a cutter, little slider.
He throws him a little slider that you would have swung, probably hit out. Watch this take. Just a power take, middle. I'm sitting there, 3-2. Now I'm panicking. He battles off a 94-mile-an-hour heater and spits on a down and in slider and works a walk. I would have been out or had a knock twice in that AB.
Hey, 1 for 2, we'll take it.
And he's standing on first base. Devin, bring me up at the StatCast board. Walk rates, K rates, chase rates. Take a look at this. So first 20 games, like you said, Mike, little nervous, trying to get his feet wet, struggling. Now he's doing exactly what he did in the minor leagues and did at Oregon State, where he controls the entire AB. He's not coming outside the zone. His K percentage has gone way down. Whiff percentage has gone way up. So
and when you see these, sorry to cut you off, when you see these numbers, man, it takes me back to Mark Newman was the minor league director for the Yankees. And I remember him telling us in Instruction League, when you guys get to the big leagues, and it was always when, not if, and that's what I loved about him. and you realize that your talent level is as good as the guys there, then it'll take off. And this is a little bit telling. Like, I don't care who you are. No one gets to the big leagues
No one.
and says, I'm going to dominate this league, because you haven't done it. You know, maybe you feel confident in your ability, but that you know you're going to dominate, no chance.
Until I walk in the clubhouse first day, I see, that's Mike Lowell. That's this guy.
I don't know if you're going to be that.
It takes a second.
Well, with the guys around you, my first call-up was the 98 Yankees. I was like, oh, my God, I'm never going to play in the big leagues. You know, you just see how good they were. So these first 20 games, all right, there's pressure, there's expectations, but there's understanding, am I good enough? Guess what? It took me 3 weeks. I am good enough. Boom. Now we go to this. And now you're looking at, God, he just brings it to both sides of the table. Both sides.
Get back into the B-roll. He does two things. Eric Nays, researcher to the stars, sits there. He comes up to us and goes, Adley Rutschman, we need to get on him. We need to skybox him. He's doing everything. Talk about JT Realmuto being one of the, if not the best catcher in the game. Ugh. Adley's coming right down the pike in his first year. And something else you notice, not only does he control the strike zone, but he hits elevated heaters
where everyone's
in
trying to
today's
go
game,
now.
And he hits, pause this, bring me up the elevated heater. Take a look. Highest slug on fastballs, 3 feet or higher. Look at Michael Harris.
Goodness, Michael Harris. That's what I was going to say.
I love these
What
boards.
T drill does he do? I want to do that one.
Adley Rutschman, 655 slug. Check this out. Check this out. Little nugget down low. Second in Major League Baseball with a 405 average versus 95 plus. So he controls the strike zone. He handles high fastballs, and he handles high velocity. I mean, that's what you're trying to accomplish in today's sport. Oh, by the way, throw me in some defense, because that's the most important thing. And he'll never forget that. I'm telling you, the ability to throw runners out, control his pitching staff, frame, block balls. That stuff matters to your teammates more than the 3-run bomb. I promise you, over a course of 162, when your catcher's grinding, you had Veritek behind the dish. It changes everything.
You know, and I tried seeing, hey, why are the Orioles doing what they do? And they don't really jump out at you as a team. They don't hit more than the other guys. They're kind of lower third, but it's these individual guys are much better when they're together than, you know, their individual, I guess, accomplishments. But I look at what Rutschman does here. I mean, this is elite. Defensive run saves. He hasn't played the whole season.
Pop time,
second base,
second
pop
base.
time.
That's boom, getting out, throwing the guy out at
Borderline called strikes. That's framing ability, where I think he's third. Pass balls, second. Like, he doesn't do anything wrong. And then you know, there was a little skepticism for me after every third out. He comes out and congratulates the pitcher, and I was like, is this his show? He does it every time. And there was an at-bat, we were on MLB Tonight 2 days ago, ground out to third. I mean, this guy's squatting 180 times a game. And it was busting out of the box, play at first base, bang, bang. I was like, he posts up every time. And that earns a lot of respect in the clubhouse. So yes, can a young kid earn immediate respect? Yes, but it's not vocally. It's not the rah-rah with the pom-poms. It's how you do things day in, day out.